Well, a recent dip in tourism is shaking up the Strip, and it's the casino dealers who are paying the price.
8 News Now reporter Nick Summers sharing how this downturn is affecting the people behind the table.
If you've been on social media at all recently, you've seen some version of the question, is Las Vegas dead? Here's a few that I found looking online. Nobody comes here. It's too expensive. Resort and parking fees are too high. And my personal favorite, Las Vegas is too expensive and it smells bad. So I reached out to some local experts to ask.
Something serious is happening in Las Vegas, and almost nobody is noticing. The lights are still on, the signs are still flashing, but behind the glitter, there is silence. The Strip is empty. Casinos that once overflowed with people now face an unsettling void.
It's great that we have a team of experts tracking the tourism numbers here locally, courtesy our economics department over at UNLV. And one professor in particular doesn't like what he's seen.
Because we have a lot of questions for him right now. For months, we've been really shining a light on tourism here in Las Vegas with how few people, I say few because it's still in the millions, but it is down. We're wondering, is it slowing? Is it?
And the most shocking part, one of the city's top CEOs has finally broken the silence. No more unwanted people. These were the words that set the internet on fire and revealed the truth that many tried to hide. What did he mean exactly? Who are these unwanted people? And why is the city that never sleeps pushing away the very people who made it thrive? Stay with me until the end, because what is being uncovered now could mark the end of an era in Las Vegas. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and leave a like, because that's the only way YouTube understands that this type of content, independent, investigative, and unfiltered, needs to reach more people. Your support is what prevents stories like this from being suppressed. When you click subscribe, you're helping to keep alive a voice the system would rather silence. So do it now, and comment below what surprised you the most so far. I want to hear your perspective, because this story is bigger than it seems. Now back with me. The CEO's confession exposed something far darker. Hotels are raising prices absurdly, small bettors are being pushed out, and casinos seem determined to turn the city into a playground exclusively for billionaires. The Las Vegas of the people of freedom of the American dream is disappearing before our eyes. Tourism is declining, local workers are desperate, and behind the luxury, a void grows that no neon sign can hide. But pay attention. By the end of this video, you'll discover the real reason the Strip is dying. And this revelation will leave you completely stunned. Because when a CEO says no more unwanted people, he is not just talking business. He is announcing a new era of exclusion. And it has already begun. The Sin City is silent. A silence that, for the world's entertainment capital, is deafening and, more importantly, extremely costly. For years, Las Vegas was synonymous with excess, with endless crowds, with a chaotic, vibrant energy that drew millions of tourists from every corner of the globe. The famous Las Vegas Strip, the main artery of this mecca, was a sea of people, a constant procession of hope, luxury, and, let's be honest, desperation. But recently, something has changed. The perception that the Strip is no longer as vibrant as it once was is no longer a whisper. It's a collective lament, confirmed by the numbers. Recent reports, including an alarming double-digit drop in tourist visits, the first of its kind since the major pandemic shock, raised a red flag. Global economic uncertainty, inflation affecting middle-class tourists, and the growing perception that Las Vegas has become unbearably expensive have all contributed to this decline. Packages and deals that were once major draws, like complimentary drinks while gambling or low-cost meals, are simply disappearing, making the experience prohibitive for many. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, LVCVA, tried to justify the decline, citing economic instability and lower consumer confidence. But the explanation from one of the Strip's most powerful casino CEOs revealed a much more calculated and, for some, disturbing truth. The statement that shook the foundations of Las Vegas was direct, brutally honest, and, above all, intentional. The CEO, who represents one of the city's most influential resort conglomerates, was caught in a rare admission that unveiled the Strip's new philosophy. He wasn't lamenting the smaller number of tourists. He was, in fact, celebrating. The controversial phrase, "No more unwanted people." This statement is the epicenter of a silent but radical transformation that is reshaping the very identity of Las Vegas. It is not just a cyclical economic fluctuation or a post-pandemic crisis. We are witnessing the rise of what is called strategic luxury, a social and economic re-engineering orchestrated by the casino elites. The goal? To push away the average spending tourist and attract exclusively the whale, the ultra-high net worth client who spends astronomical sums and, according to them, is less likely to cause problems or the negative publicity the city seeks to avoid. This is Vegas' new bold move, sacrificing visitor volume in favor of perceived quality and, crucially, maximizing revenue per customer. Let's dive into the strategy behind this controversy. What does the CEO mean by unwanted people? Clearly, it's not just those who cause disturbances or chaos. The expression is a coded euphemism for the low-spending tourist, the one who seeks the old deals, doesn't rent the $5,000 a night suite, and above all, doesn't play at $200 plus tables. Las Vegas' new business model is no longer volume-based. The paradigm has shifted from filling rooms at any cost to maximizing revenue and profit margin per square foot. To achieve this, the Strip is implementing measures that drastically raise the entry barrier for the average visitor. The first tactic, elimination of perks. Free drinks, once a cornerstone of the casino experience, are being systematically reduced or eliminated, especially for low-stakes players. Minimum table bets have reached record highs. Finding a blackjack or roulette table with a $15 or $20 limit has become a treasure hunt, almost impossible during peak hours. In many luxury resorts, minimum bets now start at $50, $100, or even $200, effectively barring casual players. The second tactic, increase in hidden fees. The notorious resort fees, mandatory daily charges often exceeding $50, continue to rise, along with parking costs that were once mostly free. These fees, added to the room price, increase the total cost of the trip in a non-transparent way, frustrating and repelling budget-conscious tourists. The third tactic, focus on elite experiences. The Strip is heavily investing in attractions only feasible for high-end clients. World-renowned residency shows with ticket prices rivaling a monthly salary, Michelin-starred restaurants with tasting menus costing thousands, and the rise of extremely exclusive clubs and lounges. The Formula One Grand Prix, for example, while providing global visibility, is an ultra-costly event prioritizing premium experiences over popular access. The transformation of the Strip is further fueled by a crucial shift in the economic engine, moving focus from low-limit individual gamblers to corporate conventions and events, and more recently, professional sports. Las Vegas no longer wants to be just the gambling capital. It wants to be the global capital of high-value business and entertainment. Massive investment in infrastructure for major events has been made. The construction of new arenas like Allegiant Stadium, home of the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders, and hosting the F1 Grand Prix, which uses the Strip as the main track, exemplified this recalibration. The role of conventions is strategic. Conventions bring in business audiences with expenses paid by companies who generally spend more on upscale dining, networking, and, yes, high-limit gambling and premium entertainment. This audience is less price-sensitive and more likely to maintain the order and decency the CEO desires. The recently recorded tourist decline of over 10% was partly exacerbated by the cancellation or reduction of major conventions, proving how vital this segment has become. The city's economy is now dangerously dependent on these luxury and corporate events. For the CEO, this is smart risk diversification. Instead of relying on the constant flow of millions of budget tourists, who are the first to cut trips during economic uncertainty, they focus on a segment with more stable and predictable revenue, corporate money, and the ultra-rich. Sports and mega events guarantee global media coverage and justify the continual price increases, solidifying Las Vegas' image as a destination of inelastic price experiences, that is, experiences so exclusive that people will pay any price. But the no more unwanted people strategy comes with a deep cost beyond profit spreadsheets. What is being sacrificed is the very soul of Las Vegas, that democratic, chaotic energy that made it unique. The first cost is loss of accessibility. Las Vegas, at its core, was a place where millionaires could stand next to workers, each seeking their version of the American dream or a getaway from reality. This accessibility is being erased. The Strip is becoming a fortress of glass and steel, accessible only to those who can pay the luxury toll. The middle-class tourist who built Vegas is being pushed out to older casinos and hotels, or worse, abandoning the Trip entirely. The second cost is impact on the workforce. With the reduction in tourist volume, there is a direct impact on service workers, waiters, valet attendants, housekeepers, low-limit dealers. The decline in traffic is already manifesting in reduced tips and increased pressure on staff to serve a clientele that, while spending more, is notoriously demanding and less tolerant of mistakes. The stress of relying on whales and elite events for daily sustenance creates a more fragile and unequal service economy. The third cost is the void at the heart of the city. An empty Strip, even if profitable in terms of margin, loses its sparkle and cultural appeal. Las Vegas is defined by its vibrancy, by the constant buzz of millions. If the Strip becomes merely an exclusive, expensive runway, the myth fades. What remains is a luxury theme park, without the spontaneity and energy that made it legendary. The new challenge for Vegas will be maintaining hype and mystique when the public realizes that the promise of anything goes has turned into everything costs a fortune. The most crucial and up-to-date information here is this. The CEO's admission was not a slip. It was the revelation of the new harsh reality of the luxury market. Las Vegas is operating under a philosophy of revenue optimization that prioritizes margin over volume, based on the premise that the city was overcrowded with the wrong kind of people. This strategy, although risky, is being implemented cohesively by the major players. They don't want the old Las Vegas back, with cheap buffets and $39 rooms. They want Las Vegas at $10,000 per night and clients who don't care about the price. They want exclusivity. The future of Las Vegas, therefore, is a tug-of-war between two forces: the democratic appeal of the Strip's myth and the calculated repulsion of the luxury strategy. The success of this move will depend on factors beyond the CEO's control, such as global economic stability, the maintenance of high-level corporate travel flow, and, crucially, whether the mass public will accept being marginalized from the Las Vegas experience. The Vegas effect. What is happening on the Strip can be seen as a micro-social and economic experiment with global implications. The trend of raising experience prices to repel low-spending tourists and focus on the ultra-rich is not exclusive to Vegas. But in a city whose identity was built on the idea that everyone is welcome as long as they're willing to risk a little money, this new philosophy of no more unwanted people is a betrayal of its own legend and the fundamental reason why the Strip, while perhaps more profitable for some, is visibly emptier for everyone.